Morning. It is a lovely morning out here this morning. It's just 8:30 in the morning, so the sun hasn't quite peeked its way up, but you can see it's teasing us on the horizon there. I want to start off by saying a big thank you to Cousin Annie and Auntie Truce for sending us a lovely letter and a present for Charlotte. So they gave her a old style British telephone piggy bank. So I thought it was pretty cool, and she had lots of fun with it there last night and some struggles to try and get it open.
What is that, a letter? Can you say thank you? Can you put that inside? Put it in your piggy bank. Oh, up on the top, sweetie. Oh, you found the puppy. Can you put it up top? Right here. Put it right there. Here, look. There you go. Put it inside. There you go. Need some help? There. Woo! Can you open it?
Do you want help? You want Daddy to help you? Anyways, for those of you that are tuning in because of what I said yesterday about messy chickens, I will not disappoint. This is our chicken feeder. It's this, the conventional. You can get it at PV Mart or anywhere you can buy chicken supplies pretty much. They have this standardized chicken feeder. The technology on this style of chicken feeder has probably not changed since its inception, a couple hundred years ago, basically on a gravity principle, and then it fills the basin and the chickens come in here, and then the dividers are really just there to stop it from supposedly getting flicked out, and allows the chickens to kind of occupy their own little space. What this one does is it does allow a chicken to get its head in there, and they get a mouthful of grain, and they do this, and I don't know why they do that. It's like they go for the best tasting piece of grain, and in the process, they might get that one piece, but 3 pieces land on the floor. It's very inefficient, and it's costing money, right? If there's food on the floor that they're not going to eat, that's costing money. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to dismantle this bottom section off of the top section, and I'm going to take a flat piece of plastic and draw a circle around it, which would be close to the diameter of this inner white piece at the bottom, and then it's going to slide down over top. And then you can see where there's these dividers on here. As this thing goes around, it kind of allows grain to just, be shoved down. It helps with the gravity. But what it does allow the chickens to do is get in there and turn their heads. So the piece of plastic that flips over top, it's going to have, inch and a half or something like that, about that big around, holes in it all the way around, so that it just is enough to allow the chickens to get their head in there and take a bite and pull their head out, as opposed to getting in there and just doing this. Forgive my shadow puppetry. Kitty getting you? Go pet her and say hi. Here's Mittens. You love Mittens, don't you? All right, so earlier this year, I did have 2 blue barrels. I think I got them stashed behind, right back here. We used them for when we butchered chickens. We filled them full of ice and water, and we're able to dip the chickens once they were all butchered out to help clean them out and cool everything off. But I have the lids left from them that I cut off. So that we draw on our template of both the outer diameter from the bottom tray, as well as the inner diameter from our storage area. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and then use the hole saw to make spots for the chickens to pop their heads inside. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Alright, so that project is, well, it's never done until the fat chicken sings, right? But it is complete in the sense that all the cuts are made. And this is really all, like, it's very, very simple. I'm surprised actually chicken feeder manufacturers don't think to put something like this on there. But as cheap as they can make it, I guess they will. So all this does is it just sits down over top of here, and it gives the chickens a place to put their head, but not get rowdy and toss it out. Now this may or may not work. I'm not gonna preach this as the solution. The only way to find out for sure is to go out and field test it.
Well, it seems like the girls like it. We're gonna go ahead and leave this here for a few hours. Come back and see if they made a mess.
What are you doing?
All right, so I'm just over here by the chicken house where I put the feeder kind of underneath this little shelter to keep the rain out of it. And I'm actually pretty impressed. As you can see, there's still some food left in it. And you can, well, as you can tell, the whole area is surrounded by grain from the previous weeks of them just chucking it everywhere. You know, so the light comes on at 3 o'clock in the morning. They come out, they terrorize this thing. Grain is everywhere. And by 5, by the time I come out, lots of times this thing's half empty. And by, you know, later, like this time in the day, it's completely empty and gone. Well, so I'm pretty impressed. Actually, there's still, you know, about 30% left in there. It's really paced them, I guess, slowed them down a little bit. So I don't know if it's going to really reduce any feed requirements. I'm still going to have to feed them the same amount, but they won't chuck it out on the floor and then have to dig around on the floor for it. The other thing I kind of noticed too, what's on the ground here, lots of this is the peas, and I think that's what they're doing when they're getting in there with their beaks and they're shoving stuff out of the way. They're picking for whatever is the most palatable, I guess. Found some nails. Okay.
Whoa.
So just a quick update on the greenhouse project. As you can see, this afternoon we did get the rafters up. We're gonna put a couple more spacers in at the top, and then we're ready for strapping. And yeah, well before the tin arrives, we'll be ready for the tin. So that's a good problem to have. We're ahead of the game. So I'm just gonna run off and feed the pigs here now, and then that'll be it for the day. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.